Hello Blitz fans of all ages, it's me PlumCastle here with a tutorial on how to get more damage in World of Tanks Blitz. Now this is a question that a lot of people have, myself included, and that is how to get more damage, because whether or not it's a new event requiring you to get damage or you're just trying to get better, it can be a little bit hard to figure out what exactly you're supposed to do in order to get more damage. And so I have decided to put together my top 5 tips for getting more damage. Now, tip number 1 is pretty simple: get early shots. Now, this is especially important for light or fast tanks, as you can get into position much quicker than you could in a heavy tank. However, this does still apply to heavy tanks. Every one of these rules applies to every tank, but just with this, getting early damage can be a little bit difficult in a heavy sometimes. However, you can see I'm moving into position very quickly. You can see there is an M6Yo over there on the enemy team who is actually going to pull up this embankment right here, and we've barely gone beyond 30 seconds. It's been about 35 seconds and I've already got a shell out. Very simple. That's really all there is to getting early shots. Just try to get into position very quickly. So now let's move on to tip number 2. Save your hit points. Now, it's really hard to illustrate what I'm talking about here, because I could literally make a whole video on just saving your hit points, and you will see some tips or some of instances of this throughout this video. However, I just decided to talk about it instead. Save your hit points. Really what that means is don't yellow, don't rush, just be careful and don't make pointless trades. So now let's move on to tip number 3, Peekaboom. This is a really fun tip. What is Peekaboom? Simply this: all you have to do is drive up and shoot an enemy that is either not expecting it or is reloading. You can see there is an M6Yo. Previously you didn't see this, but he bounced me for 450 alpha, which tells me he has the 2-shot gun, and he also shot just a moment ago, so I got this nice Peekaboom shot onto him. So then I start to pull backward, because I don't want him to then just go and shoot me. And you can see there he shot once and he's about to shoot again. There we go, which tells me that he's on a very long reload, which means I can just push on him and get a nice Peekaboom shot right into him there. Now, I will also show you can also do this in pretty much everywhere. You can see here I'm doing it with an E100 as well. This is actually the same game. Now, I don't want to just rush out in front of that E100, because literally he could take away pretty much all of my hit points with a single shot. So I'm trying to either bait him or just waiting for him to fire. Now, my friendly E100 is backing up, and he does get shot by the enemy E100, so then I know to just pull ahead, and I can't get him with normal rounds, so I shoot heat. That is fine. Feel free, or I should say, don't be afraid of using premium ammunition. Yes, it's more expensive. However, less DPM is better than no DPM. So do try to use AP rounds. However, do use premium rounds when necessary. And you can see there, I'm just hanging over the top of this E100, getting some nice shots into him. And you can see he shot there, which then gives me the liberty to just sit in front of him to get the most accurate shot I possibly can. So there is Peekaboom. Don't rush, just be careful and know when the enemy reload is. Tip number 4, seize the opportunity. What do I mean by that? I literally mean seize the opportunity. So by seize the opportunity, you can see there that FV 4005 just shot me. Most people would probably continue on. However, I decide to pull back to see if I can get a nice cheeky shot into him, which I do manage to pull off. Now, this can also be applied to the Leo that was later in the game. Most people might not think about trying to shoot for the Leo, considering the fact that he's not a very easy target right now. However, I do manage, and I do get a nice shot into him. Now, of course, there's not always an opportunity to be seized. In the case of the 4005, again, I do try to get a second shot. However, he wasn't moving, and in this case, if nothing happens for 5 to 10 seconds, I would highly recommend moving on. So now let's move on to tip number 5, and that is make it count. Now, If we hadn't saved our hit points here, we would already be dead. So that is an example of why you should be saving your hit points. And as for this shot, you know you're about to die. Just try to get at least one more shot in there. You can see we died there. However, we managed to get 3,400 damage. So there is my tutorial on how to get more damage in World of Tanks Blitz. Hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all learned something. And as always, have fun, good luck, and happy tanking.